Hey, welcome back. It is the last day of the challenge. So today we focused a bunch on how to connect physically, how to make lines in the body. So that's all good. Now we're going to focus on dropping into the space in the body. So this is a little more esoteric of a concept and more connecting into the subtle body. But before we can get into the subtle body and start to explore that, it's important to be able just to find the basic lines in the body. So that's why I encourage that so much in the beginning of the challenge. But today we're going to start off with a little meditation where I'm going to ask you to try to connect to the inner body and the breath, and then we're just going to flow through your practice. So find a comfortable seat, whether it's sitting on a block or a lift, bolster, and rest your hands either on your thighs, palms up or palms down, whatever feels more comfortable. Then close your eyes and drop inward. So just begin by relaxing into your seat. Let go of the tension in your hips and your groins. Let the bottom of the pelvis start to open so you can feel space in between the sit bones. Feel space for the sacrum, lower back, across the diaphragm, across all your ribs. Feel space across the shoulders, the collarbones. Feel space in all the joints in the jaw. Feel the eyes release back. So feel more and more space in the body. And as you connect into the space, you might be able to sense, as I've encouraged you to, a vibrational quality in the space. And once you've connected all this space, feel how much more evenly the breath can flow. So I want to encourage you throughout the poses, now that you have a better sense of what it's like to be aligned, to feel the Tadasana line, to see if you can start to integrate some of this space when you practice, this feeling of space. Now when there's a meditation bell, when there's a sound at the beginning of the meditation, I want you to practice being with the sound the whole time and also staying connected into the space. So allow the sound to keep you completely present. Listen where the sound emerges from and where it fades into. And take child's pose. And downward dog, stretch back. Walk your feet forward. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees slightly and roll yourself all the way up to stand. Stand tall up over your ankles. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back. Step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Lower down onto your belly. Open your chest and come into cobra. Then roll through into upward facing dog. Stretch back into downward dog. Look in between your hands. Step or float up to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Shift forward and lower slowly. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Look in between your hands. Step, walk, or float up to the front. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Then sit your hips back like you're sitting into a little tiny chair. Now look at your feet when you sit back like that. Did the feet twist inward at all? Press into the center heels, open the soles of the feet, open the toes. Then take your arms forward, plug your hips back into the little chair, and raise your arms all the way up. Stay in those center heels, soles of the feet open, arches lifted. Then fold forward all the way, Uttanasana. Inhale into a flat back, elongate. Step back one leg at a time into plank. Shift forward and lower slowly, knees down or legs straight, your call, Chaturanga. Inhale into a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog, stretch back. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Look in between your hands. Step or float up to the front. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. Press up to stand, Samasthiti. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Then step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, raise your arms up. Open up to your side, warrior two. All right, so as you hold in this first, held pose, reconnect to all the space in your body. So wherever it feels like that's unlikely, like my hips and my back all want to tighten up, I feel like my shoulders get tight. So see if you can feel the space more than you're identified with the lack of space. Feel the space in the soles of the feet. Feel the space across the front of the pelvis, space across your sacrum. Feel all the space in your shoulders and your chest, and encourage that movement all the way out through your fingertips, more and more space. Then bring your right forearm onto your right thigh and take your left arm over your ear. And again, reconnect to the feeling of spaciousness in the body. Feel that your breath can move freely. If you're able to go a little deeper into the pose without losing the sense of space in the chest or the feeling that you can breathe evenly and deeply, then go ahead. Then come back up into warrior two. Reverse warrior, flip your palm and inhale, reach up. Bring your hands back down to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Open to the side, warrior two. Look for the feeling of space. Open the feet, open up the pelvis, open your chest. Then go into side angle, start with the forearm on the thigh and take your arm over. So especially on tight days, I'll start off like this, or I feel like things are a little tight with the elbow down onto the thigh, and look for the feeling of space there, and then see if you can go a little deeper without the chest closing. But if you can feel that you lost space when you went deeper, then there's no sense in trying to go deeper. In our poses, we want to go right to where you first feel the barrier, like, oh, I feel a sensation of stretch. Be there and breathe into the space. And then once you feel that like completely dissipate, you're like, oh, there's really no more stretch going on, then try going a little deeper. Come back up into warrior two. Reverse warrior, flip your palm and inhale. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes in so your feet are parallel. Place your hands on your hips and roll your shoulders back, expand your chest. Fold forward, maintaining the hands on the hips. Hold here for 5 breaths. Now just notice in the soles of the feet and in the backs of the legs where it feels like it started to shrink. Open up the soles of your feet again. Open the backs of your legs. Open your toes. Then set your fingertips down onto the mat and inhale, make a flat back, reach your heart forward. Exhale, walk the hands back a little deeper. Let the head drop down. Then inhale, come into a flat back position again. Stretch down through your feet and come up. And spread your arms out to the side. All right, good old triangle. Turn your legs to the right for triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Yeah, get your blocks set up if you need the blocks. Now in side angle, you have the benefit of the back ankle to line up with to get the line. In this one, not so much, but you still want to be extending the spine like you're being pulled through the crown of your head towards the wall that your head's pointing towards. Reach down through your right center heel. Then press your feet, come back up into warrior two. Just stand, then turn the legs to the other side and reach out over your left leg. So same thing, like you're being pulled up through the crown like you're a marionette puppet on a string. And let the tailbone lengthen towards your back inner heel. Reach to your feet and come back up to stand. Step your back leg forward and stand in mountain. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa at your call. Then step your right foot up to your right thumb for crescent. Come up onto your fingertips, reach to your back inner heel and reach your heart forward, then lift from your belly and come on up. Raise your arms. Now as you're reaching up, feel the weight drop right into the center of your right heel. Notice the tendency of the foot to twist. Bring your hands to your heart. Stay upright as you twist to your right. Then spread your arms out and use the reach of the backs of the arms from the backs of the shoulders into the fingers to help to turn the rib cage a little bit more. Good. Now start to lean your chest out over your right knee. As you're leaning out, keep all that length in your spine. Then put your left hand down, a foot in front of your foot. Engage your right outer hip so it's in the line of your right ankle. And step up to balance. Bring your right hand to your hip for a moment. Guide the hip back into alignment over the ankle. Reach straight out through your crown like you're doing a triangle. And through your tail, lengthen to your back heel like in Tadasana class yesterday. Then spin from your navel up towards your right shoulder. Bring your right hand down and fold forward. Lower your left leg, let your head drop. Bend your knees and roll yourself up to stand. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees, sit back. Bring hands to prayer. Sit back deeper into your chair and twist to your right. So as you twist in the chair, make sure that the sit bones stay aiming straight back. Aim your crown right out in between your inner knees. Loosen your navel and turn it up towards your right shoulder. Then fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Step back into down dog or out of vinyasa. Step your left foot all the way up by your left thumb. Crescent. Lift from your belly, raise your arms up. Get right into the center of your left heel as you're coming up. Bring your hands to prayer. Start to turn your belly, turn your rib cage, let the navel turn towards the left shoulder. Spread your arms out. Okay, now the deeper you twist, the more the tendency is going to be to round over because the spine starts to lose elasticity, everything starts to pull. So can you still keep the pull up? Keep working the paraspinals, the erector spinae. Don't let yourself sink, keep stretching. And then start to lean your chest out over your knee without losing any of that length. Put your right hand down, a foot in front of your foot on the inside, and raise your back leg up. Now as that leg goes up, keep your hip on a track with the ankle. Imagine the back heel is pressed against the wall, elongate the tail. Bring your left hand to your hip for a moment and make sure that you can feel that the hip is still stacked over the ankle. Then bring the hand down and fold forward. Bend your knees slightly and roll yourself up to stand. Inhale into chair pose, bend your knees and sit back. Bring hands to prayer. Sit a little deeper into your chair, then twist to your left. Hook your elbow to your knee. Aim the sit bone straight back again, crown forward. Feel all the space in the spine, on all the joints of the spine. Notice where it feels like the spine's trying to hang onto itself. What about the feet? Did they start to collapse and shrink to the floor in the arches? Breathe space into the inner arches. Then fold forward, Uttanasana. Separate your feet just hip socket distance apart and hook your big toes. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Then inhale, make a flat back. Slide the hands underneath the feet. Then start to fold forward again. Now you might have to bend the knees to be able to get the hands as deep as Stacy was able to, but try to get the hands so deep that you can feel the toes come all the way to the creases of the wrists. Then release your hands. Come up to stand. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Then sit back into the little chair again, arms forward. Feel the weight back into the heels. Then lift your heels up, come up onto the balls of your toes. Now, if you got bad knees or ankles, be careful with this next transition. Can you drop your hips all the way back to knee height and hold there? Then from there, you might be able to lower your buttock all the way into the floor and come right into boat. I don't know, maybe. Don't bust a knee though to make it happen. Good, then slowly lower into low boat position, Ardha Navasana. Come back up into boat. Then cross your legs at the shins, put your hands next to your hips. Lean into your hands and lift your butt up an inch. Tuck your abs up. Come back to boat pose. Lower slowly into low boat. Tuck the abs in. Come back up into boat pose. Cross your legs the other way. Hands next to your hips and go up. Good. Last one, boat pose. Now this transition of going from boat to low boat, I've kind of saved it for the end. I don't think we did much of this in the middle. I don't know. But this is a more advanced transition. So if you need to go with bent knees down and just work with your head down or whatever so that your back doesn't hurt, this is only for really healthy lower backs to do this transition. Slowly lower into low boat. So it can be done with bent knees, tabletop knees. Now take your right leg straight up. Now if the hamstrings aren't very long, then you could bend your right knee and bring your hands up and over to the outside of the knee. But if you have the length, go ahead, stretch the leg all the way. Change legs, go up and over to the outside of the left. Change legs. Change legs. Then bring both legs up. Lower your head down, hands behind your head. Now squeeze in your legs like one leg and open up the soles of your feet, toe mounds. Tuck your pubic bone towards your chest and lift your tail up. Then crunch up to your knees and hold there for 5, 4, 3. Crunch up one more inch, 2. And lower your hips in your head. One more time. Squeeze in the legs. Tuck the pubic bone into your chest and go up. Crunch up. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips in your head. Now last part's not over yet. Straighten the legs all the way. Tighten the lower quadriceps just above your knees right here. And then with your elbows out to the side, open from the shoulders into the elbows as wide as you can. And feel the back of the skull and the tail and the sit bones reach away from each other. And squeeze those legs and hold for the last 10, 9. Keep the ankles balanced right over top of the hips. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hug your knees into your chest. Then roll yourself up to seated. Come onto your hands and your knees. Set your elbows down onto the mat. Interlock your hands, and let's do preparation for Shirshasana, dolphin pose. With the elbows right underneath the shoulders, press the forearms down, curl your toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips up. Now as you press down firmly into the forearms, see if you can bring your right knee up to your chest without your hips sinking or twisting. And then lift that leg straight up if it's going well. Don't let the opposite hip sink. Lower the leg down and change sides, left knee up. And then lift straight up. Good, lower that leg back down. Walk back into plank on your forearms. And hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, collarbones open. Remember, we're strengthening good posture. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips down, Sphinx pose, chest open. Good, then stretch back into child's pose. Sit in Dandasana, sit with your legs stretched straight out in front of you. Then when you sit in Dandasana with your hands next to your hips, you should get the feeling like you're seated with your back against a wall. So a danda literally means a stick or a staff. So it's like there's a stick up your back. Now for this to happen, you might need to bend the knees if your back body is too tight. So feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to. But if you can straighten the legs, go ahead without the sacrum sinking. Keep the sacrum upright. Bend the right knee off to the side and fold forward over your left leg. Janu Shirshasana. Inhale, come back up. And change sides. Inhale, back up. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. So in Baddha Konasana, instead of trying to jam your knees down towards the floor, I want you to start by opening up the feet, kind of like a book a bit. But then look for as much space across the bottom of the pelvis as you can. Open the bottom of the pelvis, the space in between the sit bones, like when we practice our seated meditation. And then see, keeping the space in between the sit bones, if you can let the groins release towards your inner knees and feel more space across the front of the pelvis. Instead of trying to push the knees down, imagine they're stretching out, like there are walls coming in on them and they're resisting the walls away to create more space in the front of the pelvis and the bottom and across the sacrum. Then bring your knees together and stretch your legs out. Paschimottanasana, fold forward over your legs. Then lie down onto your back for Shavasana, corpse pose. As you feel your body relax from head to toe, open up. And reconnect to all the space in the body. Then gently bend your knees and roll over to your right side. Press yourself up to seated. Bring your palms together. Namaste. All right, well, we just want to thank you so much for taking this challenge. I hope that it's been a good thing for you. So always with the challenge, I feel like it's just a great way to get yourself in the habit of practicing yoga more regularly. And now that you're in that habit, keep going. You could do some of the videos again, videos that you liked. Practice, try to incorporate your yoga practice more than 3 days a week if you have the availability. You do though, because you did this last month, every day. And also, I've mentioned this before, but a great way to deepen your practice, if you can start to work yourself into an hour of practicing a day, is to sign up for the Conscious Movement community. I'll put the link below. And in addition to having hour-long videos, I'm also doing videos on meditation and pranayama, and then also workshops. So you can learn some different facets of the practice that I wouldn't often show on YouTube, more in like the classroom setting is on there. The last thing that I want to encourage you to check out is I had Beth on the challenge a few days ago. So which day? I don't know day. But we had Beth on here, and one of the things that I didn't share with you about Beth though is that she practiced some of the routines that are in the movement videos. So in addition to the Conscious Movement community link below, I'm going to put a link to the playlist of the movement videos. Now, what are movement videos? Really, these are just like exercises. Some come from like physical therapy exercises to help to train muscles in your body. Some are just like cross-training ideas that I've come up with. And what they do is they train your muscles in a way to support your structure so that you can hold yourself in these lines that we've been talking about better. If your body is like chronically closed, then there's a certain amount of strengthening and opening that needs to go on. A lot of that can be found if you do the practice well, but kind of a catalyst and like a little like cheat code. When I was a kid, you play Super Nintendo and you could do cheat codes. Okay, anyways, a cheat code to getting into the poses even better is to do these repetitive exercises to build strength and mobility. So I'm going to put that link below, and the Conscious Movement, below the Conscious Movement will be the movement videos. They're two different things. This is confusing. People ask me all the time. Anyways, so they're two different things. The movement videos, that's more like they're kind of workout style videos. So I encourage you to check out those, try some of those for the legs, for the arms, the shoulders, just to get those muscles to start to fire well. So a lot of it is that the muscles, they kind of get like dull, they don't want to work. If you can train those muscles to fire again, they'll help you while you're doing your practice. Do you think, Stacy, it'll help? Stacy thinks so. So, okay, cool. I hope you have a great day, and thanks so much for taking this challenge. I'll see you next time.